Hi, and welcome to beautiful Forever University. We're really excited tonight to have a office manager for Dr. Shino Aguilera, who is just amazing. Jake, you will just love him. And he will effectively tell you how he manages a very demanding aesthetic practice. Not only is it dermatology and laser, it also covers everything from plastics to estheticians to retail. They actually have a store. So Jake has a huge undertaking. But, you know, one of the interesting things in talking to Jake and knowing Dr. Shino is the staff is considered family. And I think that's something that you should putting in your notes right now, because you will have a much more dedicated staff. And if the staff is happy, your patients will be happy. They feel the difference, they know it. So the staff is very honored to be working there and working together as a great team. And as you know, it all starts at the top. So when the owners and the managers start to hire some great staff, you wind up having an amazing team. So giving the staff responsibility to run an effective, efficient practice. Even today, having Jake on with us live, Dr. Shino was so excited to have him on. And that's wonderful. Wanting to help promote and self-promote the growth and development of your staff is really important. And I don't find that in all the practices. So to be efficient and effective, please listen to Jake and I today. We're going to have a very casual conversation about running your practice successfully. We are offering an open discussion series for 2021, part of the beautiful Forever University. Any questions, any thoughts, I am happy to do a consult with you, any of the challenges that you're up against. I'm in the business over 30 years, and you could just email me. And don't forget to complete the survey with any suggestions you have at the end of this live performance. And so now I'm going to introduce our guest, Jay Campbell Rush, and he's a practice manager for Shino Cosmetic, Dermatology and Plastic Surgery Laser Center in the center of Fort Lauderdale. They have a beautiful retail space. He was born and raised in Knoxville, as you'll hear in his accent. I was making fun of him about that because he hasn't lost his accent, and he's been working for this practice for 11 years now. So after college, he entered the working force for Dermatology Associates of Knoxville Skincare Center, and then he came to Fort Lauderdale, where he started at the front desk and worked his way up. So I give him a lot of credit for that. He has a lot of responsibilities. When they were restructuring from derm to go to cosmetics, they were growing, they were buying more space, putting together policies and procedures, and you know, growing the future of the business and managing, I think it's like 22 employees is a very big undertaking. So I want to introduce live Jake to you, and we're really excited to get started. He is a team leader that is amazing. Jake, are you on?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me.
Okay, there you are. Oh, you are so welcome. Well, I know it takes a village of talented people, and you lead that village amazingly well. And I've been in your practice, and everything is run so efficiently and so effectively. Tell us what it takes to be a good manager.
I think especially with Shino Cosmetic Dermatology, it takes a lot of compassion, understanding. It does take a lot of multitasking. There are a million things going on here at one time. It's hard to complete just one task. But it does. You have to compartmentalize what's going on. You have to be very organized, but you really do have to lead with the heart. You do have to have a lot of compassion and caring. We do have to follow, you know, what Dr. Aguilera is trying to show the world he is, and we do believe in that. So.
And how has it been during COVID managing the process? I know you were closed for a couple of months. You're in Florida, where I happen to be sitting at the moment, also in a town nearby. But so we're lucky being in Florida because a lot is open. There's a lot of people still stuck, things still closed, whether it's New York, California, big cities that don't have what we have. But how has it affected your practice and your management of the staff and the time and the bookings and so forth?
Right. Well, when we first got news that we were going to have to close, I mean, we literally just called all of the patients, canceled them immediately. We were already getting a lot of cancels anyway, when the news was breaking that this was going on. So we shut down for a while, and then upon closing, we really restructured our computer system, Next Tech. We created a portal for the patients to go in and fill out all of their information, contactless, touchless, which were two words that became great nonstop. We redid our whole check-in, check-out area. We now have no seating area at all. We have where people can actually let us know on their app on their phone that they've arrived in the parking garage, to let us know that they are here, so we can then figure out when they need to come down for us to take them directly into a room. So there's no waiting, there's no lines at the door. We actually have a lock on the door now that we can remote control unlock, so we can control the entrance and exits of the patients. We had to cut the appointments down 50%. We stopped doing ablative laser because of the plumage and everything that was going on with that. Nobody knew whether you could catch COVID through particles in the air from a laser or anything like that. So we halted all laser treatments. We did decide to, when we did reopen, that we were going to try to be as, again, compassionate as possible. A lot of these people had not left their house at all, but to come and visit our office for months. And we were seeing a lot of patients that were really going through a lot of hardship and a lot of hard times. So in opening back up, we really wanted to create a happy place that didn't seem like we were freaking out about COVID. You know, and that's hard. I mean, nobody wants to really get close to anybody. Nobody wants to touch anybody. So, and in order to do that, we really had a lot of training sessions on how to speak about what we were doing, what guidelines we were following, and what we were doing to move forward to be able to reopen and do that safely.
And you did do a good job, and I've been there and I've seen it. You guys have made fast and furious changes. You're obviously doing a great job as a manager with training the staff. So everybody is very compliant. Are you back to doing more than 50% at this point and doing the lasers that you weren't doing?
We are starting to incorporate more of the lasers. We're starting to incorporate more of the deeper treatments that we were doing, more of the major threads, threadings, deeper filler treatments. But I don't know if we'll ever go back to 100% occupancy of patients. Right now, it is so calm and easygoing that we're not stressed out. There's not a lot of running behind with patients and just running around like we're crazy. So a couple of things happened with COVID that did make us realize that maybe we don't have to be so full force, and just it really just made us open up our eyes to realize that we could kind of take a step back and kind of redo everything and figure out what would work best for us and the patients. And I don't think that we're ever going to go back to just a booming, packed, full schedule.
And how does that impact your bottom line? I mean, the truth is that if you're seeing half the amount of patients, are they getting more treatments done in that time frame, and the doctor spending and the provider spending more time with them? Because that would cut your bottom line by half, which, you know, I could see, you know, the doctor's not being very happy, and the managers, you know, like yourself.
I mean, it is shocking sometimes when we do have a lot of cancels, because with the vaccines going on, COVID going on, we do have people canceling and not showing up for appointments. But when you're able to spend more time and more quality time with that patient and not just rush in and out and get one thing done and then move on to the next, it's really made us spend a lot more time and bonding with those patients. So even half of the patients, they're ending up doing more with us because they have the time, and we have the time as well on the schedule to accommodate them adding on things that they wouldn't usually have time to do.
Which is great. It's like you said, it's calmer, and people are getting more things done, spending more money, and it's not as crazy. So I guess ultimately your bottom line might have been affected more so at the beginning, but now it sounds like, you know, things are coming back up, which is great to hear. And I know that, you know, you had to do some restructuring, some hiring, some changes. I know most people were kept on, during all of that time, which was also very admirable of
Yeah.
Doctor, because I know how hard that was for him.
Right.
But I know that you're also great at being a leader. And being a leader takes a lot of responsibility. And as I said before, it takes a village, and you had to hire this village so they can support you and you can do a great job. So I know you sit back and do nothing all day because you have a village doing it all. But tell me about the meetings, because it's really important. And that was actually one of the reasons that I wrote the book, Beautifully Profitable, because I wanted offices to have more meetings and be able to make them meaningful and talk about everything that goes on in the practice, not only negative things, but positive things, marketing things. And I know your office was one of the offices that bought, a book for every staff member, which I thought was great and so innovative. So tell us a little about the meetings and who's attending your meetings and how often do you have them?
Right. So we decided years ago that we were consistently wanting to have Friday mornings from 9 to 10 available to have meetings and staff trainings, demos for devices, or anything that we needed to fit into that hour. So when I was hired on, even before I was managing or anything, we had always set aside that time. So Shino could meet with us, Dr. Aguilera could give us some motivation before we started the day. But it also allows me to meet with everybody, touch base. I am who I am. I'm not trying to pretend to be some, very rigid person. I like to have fun. I like for everybody to feel comfortable. I like to have round table discussions. I like to hear people's opinions and issues. And I like for people to come to me with solutions as well, because I may have one idea of what works, but the people that are actually in the trenches doing something specific may have a total idea and another idea that works better than what mine was. So like I said, it takes a village. It takes tons of ideas to implement and get where you want to be. And I make sure that I surround myself with people that have the same vision. Everybody is super excited for any time that we do anything where we expand or add something new, get to be a part of something. And I think that's super important. I mean, you really have to keep communication up, and that morning meeting on Fridays really gives us an opportunity to do that.
Is it usually a positive meeting when people leave there? It feels like you've been their cheerleader most of the time?
I think most of the meetings end up being positive. I try to end on a positive note, if anything. There are always going to be issues. There's always going to be topics that need to be discussed and uncomfortable situations that need to be addressed. But with that being said, you also have to recognize what's going on here that is positive. Anything that we do to move forward or get excited about, I love to keep bringing that up, because we really need, you have to look forward to something, and I think that all of our staff really bond together. And as a family, we all want to succeed and keep moving to the stars. So we really, really are on the same page with everybody. I mean, we really are a family, and I'm very proud to be a part of what we've created.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of what you've done and how hard you work to get where you are today. And I give you a lot of credit for that.
Thank you.
And part of it is also, as we talked about before, like hiring the right staff, hiring the right team. Tell us about the Shino culture. I know you kind of alluded to it a little, but a little bit more about Shino is unique. I mean, there's no question about him. We all love him, but he is not the typical dermatologist that's out there,
Right.
doing Mohs surgery. He is a cosmetic derm traveling around the world, well, non-COVID anyway. But,
Right.
so tell us a little bit about the Shino culture that you try to implement every day with all of the staff.
I have found from the beginning, every day, every meeting, every interaction that we may have, that I would have taken one path, I've now seen another way to look at things in some form or fashion. It's never been, we all want to be prosperous and we all want to have money and we want to be able to do what we want to do. But Dr. Aguilera built this place knowing that he wanted to have a place for somebody to come to feel positive energy, to feel uplifted. We do make people feel better on the outside, but it's just as much what happens on the inside as well. If you're not happy on the inside, no result that we ever give you is going to be as rewarding as it is if you're happy on the inside as well. So we really spend a lot of time talking to the patients. He is always talking to patients and laughing and singing and hugging. And, the hardest part of COVID was us not hugging patients and stuff. We're very affectionate. So his culture is just not one of extreme demand on money and what we're bringing in on the day. But if he has 7 patients that are laughing and happy and feel good and look good, we've done our job.
Yeah, and you have, I mean, all your patients, the word of mouth marketing super exceeds, in your case especially, any type of marketing, advertising, social media. We've discussed that. And the truth is that everybody works so hard to be all over the internet, to be all over, to have, the best website. But the truth is, unless you have what you have in-house, that word of mouth marketing is so valuable, because you don't have to spend as much money for marketing, for ads, for social media, which is great. And, one of the things that I learned by talking to you recently was the fact that you promote your staff to do social media, have their own accounts. Tell us a little bit about that, because there are some practices that are almost afraid to allow the staff to have their own accounts, and it has to only be an account for the practice.
Right. And we do, our estheticians, they have their own accounts, laser hair removal, permanent makeup. Everybody likes to showcase their own work. But everybody's very proud of where they work as well. And they want to promote us on their own personal, Instagram accounts as well. We don't have employees that are super rowdy and inappropriate, if you will. I think that in certain cases, I would be nervous to have my staff promoting on social media, because I've seen some things with people, not our staff, but, where you're just like, wow, that really happened, so everybody is very courteous and conscious of what's going on, but everybody's very proud of the results that we get, the services that they provide, and interacting with our Instagram and building off of that. So it's very easy, and it works really well for us.
So everybody has their own Instagram or Facebook account. Then you have one for your practice. And then I know Dr. Shino Bay is very active, and he has his own. Do you have your own as well?
I do. I'm not a huge social media person. I like to keep up with everybody on social media and everything, and I need to get better at that. That's one thing that a lot of us at the office have talked about, is that we just need to get better at that. It's almost a second job. And you may have some feedback on that as well. It is a full-time job to be super active on social media.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you have your hands full, but if everybody else is doing it for you and it's working well, then, you don't have to spend as much time, and you could have people post for you if you have certain things that words and highlights that you want to get out, pearls you want to get out to your consumers. Now, I know Doctor does a lot of training. So there's a lot of B2B on one end. On his end, he's talking to the providers, but on the other end, you're talking to the patients and all of the people coming in locally, as well as from, out of the state, that are often coming into your practice.
Yes.
So it's important to have things out there, but I don't know that it's that important for you personally, because you have so much to manage that it's only going to take away time, and we're not getting any younger, and we're not getting any more hours in a day. So, the truth is that, as long as it's being done, and, the truth is, if that's not even where most of your patients are coming from, they might be following, they love to look at before and afters, they love to see Shino's, inspirational, spiritual, journey. But I think, as we talk, the word of mouth and having happy patients, and those patients referring others, is really the key to your success in your business.
Right.
And I think that's what you really need to focus on, and know that, that's where, let's say all your consults are coming from. So when a consult comes in, I know that you also use, Solution Reach, which helps you with some tracking, also helps you with some text messaging and relaying messages back and forth, confirming appointments. But tell us about, the consultations, and do you charge for them, and what's the process?
Right. So when a patient decides that they want to come in, we set a consult up for them, complimentary. We do not charge anything for someone to come in and meet with us to figure out if, what they're wanting to do. So we do a consultation. We have Dawn, Dawn Rapano, which is our main consultant, only consultant. She's been with us forever. She is phenomenal. She spends a lot of time meeting with the patient before the doctor ever goes in to build a bond, to really get to know what the patient is feeling, what the patient is looking for, what the patient's done previously. And so we spend a lot of time doing that before we ever start anything with procedures, money, booking, or anything like that. We really want to bond a relationship. And then the doctor would come in and make his recommendations. Dawn then goes back in after the doctor is done with that and speaking to the patient and meeting them and getting to know them. Then she would present the procedures and the pricing and what we can do and how we can do it, and really a whole rejuvenation package.
So it's only after they become a patient, the next step, that you really would take photographs and sit them down and do that.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Now, what happens with, I know in the front you have a beautiful retail area. It's recently been expanded, and you have a Visia camera to analyze skin. When do you utilize that?
Once the patient is booking for treatments, we make sure that they start out with a Visia, the skin analysis.
Mhm.
That's going to let us know, if they're doing laser treatments, there is hidden hyperpigmentation that may not be to the surface yet. There's a lot of information we get from the Visia that can help the estheticians, the doctors, Kelly, our physician assistant. Anybody can read the information from this Visia and figure out what we might need to do different than we even thought we're going to do before. Some information can change with the Visia, but it is a great tool. And so once we get that going, the patient literally would then go to a room, then get prepared for the treatment and everything. But the Visia comes first.
So now they've come in, they had their consult, they then decide they want to have a treatment. Are you able to do it the same day?
There are certain treatments that we can do same day consult and treatment. A lot of the laser treatments, we would like for them to pre-treat with some products to help just control melanocytes that may cause some pigmentation or something to occur. So we like to pre-treat patients with laser. So very rarely we would ever do a laser same day consult. But dermal fillers, neurotoxins, some thread treatments, are more than welcome to treat the same day. We just need to know ahead of time that that's their focus. A lot of people are international. A lot of people were traveling before COVID. So we would have people coming in and out. So if they need a time crunch and need to do things quickly, we can accommodate that if needed.
And how do you educate a patient who, I can't come in? Do you do anything virtually, or did you during the initial COVID time?
One of the things that we moved forward with was the telehealth portal, where they could actually do an interface interaction with the doctor or provider to do a consult online. We're able to do Zoom, pretty much anything that anybody's doing now from home.
Right.
For work, we could do at the office. It's still, I think, a different experience. I think when you're here in person and we get to really look at what's going on and see and touch and feel, it creates a whole different situation. But, during hard times or travel restrictions or anything like that, we would more than happy, get on and do a consult and at least get to know the patient, start that relationship up and see where it goes.
And I know that you started and Dr. started, everything is so hands-on. So I agree, knowing your practice so well, that coming in does make a difference. And for some offices, they do better virtually. So every practice is different. And I think a lot of it has to do with the personalities as well as, what's going on now in the States. So
Yes.
now that people are coming in, they're spending more time. So they're obviously spending more money, which is good for your practice and good that they're able to get the services that maybe before they have to come back for. So how do you present payment options and making things affordable? Because that is right now, there is time of uncertainty. So whether somebody's out of work, working from home, and they want to get other services done because there's time now, or they're busy looking at themselves on Zoom like we are right now, and they want to look good.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with offering or discussing, the payment options and bringing it up?
Right. We have always been advocates of the rewards programs, the patient-driven programs. Well, Brilliant Distinctions is Ally now. Aspire, MERS has a new program they're launching, Reveness. So everybody has their own patient loyalty programs that then provide points that convert to dollar amount, discounts. There's rebate codes that we're given to use for patients. We also provide care credit. That's available. You can even apply on our website. And we go over all of that in the consults as well. Anytime a patient is being given a new treatment plan or anything that deals with money, we really want to work with them. And most of our patients are so comfortable with us anyway. They're very vocal about what they can and can't do at the time. And so we sit there and figure out what's the most important, what we need to do first, what we can do second, what we can wait on. But we really advocate for anybody to utilize anything that they possibly can to help. And we pull any and all rebates, any promotions, anything that we can possibly do to help.
No, which is great. And I know that you do that. Are most people familiar with care credit, a patient financing option that come in?
I would think when I first started working here, I had no idea what it was, but I came from an office that did not utilize that at all in Knoxville. So once I came here, I heard about it. A lot of people utilize it now for veterinarian, dental. So it's become a huge way for people to be able to do financing and stuff. And so, yeah, a lot of people already know what it is. And we want to make sure that they know that we do provide that. So it almost draws in some people if they know that we already, provide that for them.
That is true. If they search and they know that you have it, it could be, a contactless way that they could pay, which is great.
Right.
And so going back to, what you said earlier, but that patient loyalty and the way that you help them with the point, you help them with discounts. I mean, I'm sure that they really appreciate that. Internally, do you offer specials and marketing promos each month? And how do you get the word out about that?
We do. I mean, we've tried the typical Valentine's Day lip special. We've tried, we've done different Botox at Halloween. We've all tried that. I still feel like that sometimes we don't get the feedback from that we thought we would. And most of the time it's better just to move forward with every day. But we do, we will, if somebody is going to require 3, 4, 5 syringes of product or to, for the treatment that we're wanting to provide, we will always work on what the company may be able to do for us. And different things like that as well. We really want to do anything that we possibly can to work with the patient to make the treatment happen and to make them happy.
Which is great. And we know that most of your patients are coming back. Your rate of reoccurrence and coming back on a regular basis, the numbers from what you and I discussed are extremely high compared to most practices. And tracking, which we talked about, is a big thing to pay attention to. And I know through Solution Reach, you could track the patients, and how do you utilize that? What's the way that you started with some sort of tracking or you plan to start?
Right. Well, Nextech provides some tracking. Solution Reach has retention tracking modules as well. Mm-hmm. Some of it is literally, we have one person that has been coming to our office that is now a grandmother that has a daughter that is coming to our office that has a daughter. So the granddaughter is coming to our office. So there's sometimes that we have a complete family tree that's crazy. We have referrals all day long because we track everything. Every phone call is tracked. How you heard about us. It's usually patient, existing patient. So we're just super proud that we have as much internal patient loyalty and marketing and referral as we do, because like you said, that typically does not happen. And we've tried marketing, we've tried magazine ads, and it's just nonstop with the patient patient referrals.
And how do you thank the patients? This is one of my last questions here with sharing pearls. How do you thank the patient for sending their friends or their family? Do you have a program for that?
We are trying to figure out the best way to do that. I mean, sometimes it's hard because of HIPAA and patient privacy and everything else. I mean, somebody telling us, hey, I referred a friend to you. Did she treat? Well, you can't answer that.
Right,
So we're trying to find a better way to do that. But we always make sure that patients that are consistent with us, the loyalty programs will already give them rewards as well for staying within our practice. But we're always doing additional promotions with those patients, gift with purchases, buy one, get one, if they're doing certain number of fillers. So we always try to reward our patients. And I think overall, I think our patients realize that. And I think that's why they keep returning like they do, because they really know that we're trying to do whatever we can to keep them coming back and keep them smiling.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I know the number one in some practices, like a birthday program or a birthday special.
Right. We do that.
What do you do? Yeah. So what do you do for birthdays? Because people love to feel special on their birthday.
We have, so through Solution Reach, we have it set up to where everybody gets a birthday email congratulating them about the birthday month, and they have that whole month to come in and spend that money with us.
Oh, that's great. So
Right.
I'm glad that you take advantage of that. So you do have your own programs, even though it's not formalized as a
Right.
program. It sounds like you really have a program.
Yeah.
And I know that I've kept you probably long enough with your 22 staff members waiting. But what is the key takeaway you think today about being a good manager? What would be your words of wisdom and advice?
I think that having the knowledge, having the background, having the education, the experience is one thing. Having compassion, being able to encourage your staff, being able to motivate your staff, and really have everybody working together for the same goal, I feel like is invaluable. I mean, it really is. I could know every computer program there is. That doesn't mean that my staff is going to behave the right way. It doesn't mean we're going to treat patients the right way. You've really got to look within yourself and know that it has to be both. It has to be knowledge, and it has to be inner love and respect.
Yeah, and I think you creating this family with Dr. Shino Bay, I think the combination, has held together your staff, with glue, and helps to hold together all of your happy patients. So, I think what you're doing is great. That I'm going to ask you to come back and we'll focus on a specific topic. But, but I'm so happy to have had you live today with us. And if any questions come in, we will send them to you. But we'd like to keep everything now COVID short, and people are busy, but we wanted to get the key points across, and you did a wonderful job in sharing your pearls. And I want to thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. So I look forward to seeing you again soon, and having you back on with us.
All right, definitely.
Thank you.
All right.
So today's webinar, we always have a handout. So today's handout is on peak performances, how to set your staff expectations, track your performances, reward excellence, and address problems before they become a major issue. It's one of the articles that have been published, and I write articles probably every week and every month, but I think that that's an important one for you. So please stay and answer the survey questions when you get them, real short, whatever comments and questions you have. If you have ideas for key opinion leaders or for people that you think that should be on our Beautiful Forever University talking every week and every month, please let us know. And from the book Beautifully Profitable, you would get a 50% discount on the digital version today by using the discount code PROFIT. So one of the quotes from today and from the Beautifully Profitable book is top strategies for human resources success, managing time to increase productivity. So it all starts the same, but it's how you eliminate the unnecessary activities and manage your staff and your personal time efficiently and effectively. And so we have information in the book and a chapter on that in Beautifully Profitable. It is on Amazon for those of you that don't want to go to beautifulforever.com and use a discount code for the digital book. You can go onto Amazon. I do offer complimentary sessions with myself and our executive consultants to be able to talk to you to expand and add new profit centers. Now is the time to take out the magnifying glass and let's look at the rest of this year. Let's look at next year. Let's see how we can grow your practices together. And coming up, which I'm really excited about, is our lineup of exciting experts with proven success strategies. So we have Mona Sapperfield, who is a skincare professional, and we know each other probably 30 years. So she's really exciting. And, you know, PDO threads for face and body, how to market the winning consultation. Dr. Azahalim is amazing at that. She has a knack that's pretty incredible. And then we also have Lee Nelson, who is a manager of a plastic surgery practice. And Dr. Adam Rubenstein really has her leading the reins there. And so Solution Reach and Care Credit will be involved as well in that webinar, which I'm very proud to announce. So I look forward to any of your comments, and hopefully I will get to see you in our next webinar.